All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number two. That is right, week number two of your 9489 class, which is your cultural heritage class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin. And this week we are going to have a shorter check-in video because I know the one that you watched last week was very, very long. That was the course overview, and so we're going to balance that one out. Dr. J.S. is going to keep himself under 10 minutes. It's very hard for me to do that because I do like to talk, but I am going to keep this one under 10 minutes, and so if you speed it up, it will certainly be under 10 minutes. And yeah, we're just going to go over a few things, and that way if you do want to finish last week's check-in video, like let's say that you started last week's check-in video, which was over an hour long, but you didn't get through it all. If you want to finish it, then the fact that this week's check-in video is going to be a bit on the shorter side, that should give you time to go back and finish last week's check-in video if you so choose. So what we're going to do is start off with a state of the course update, and then after we do the state of the course update, then we are going to talk. I'm going to state something very obvious, but it's still something that you all should probably have in your ears and hearts and minds, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and break into the state of the course update. First of all, you should have taken the syllabus quiz by now, or at least it was due on, I actually believe it is due on on Monday, the 22nd, as opposed to Sunday the 21st. So you may have another day left. Let me just clarify. All right, so yeah, there we go. The syllabus quiz was or will be due on January 22nd. I am recording this on January 21st. So yes, you do have until Monday at 11:59 p.m. Central Time to actually get that done. So go ahead and get that syllabus quiz done. And I do apologize again for the little error that is in the syllabus quiz. It has since been corrected. And if you got the answer wrong as far as before I corrected it, at least, if you got the answer wrong to the first question, which actually most of you picked the answer that was going to be marked correct anyway. So if you did get the answer wrong, I corrected it. But also, what I mean by that is if you got the answer wrong before I corrected the quiz, then I corrected it. But if you are working on the corrected quiz, which I corrected it at about 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time on January the 21st. So if you took it after that and you got that question wrong, then, you know, you're going to be out that 0.2 points. But that's probably not going to have an effect on your grade. I would be very, very surprised if it has an effect on your final grade, okay? So go ahead and get that syllabus quiz done. And then after the syllabus quiz, the next thing that you need to do is, the next thing that's going to be coming up, actually let me get into student view for that so that it will be easier for you to see and know what's going on. All right, let's go home. Okay, so aside from the syllabus quiz, the only thing that you all need to be kind of aware of, I shouldn't say the only thing, but the thing that you need to be most aware of is outside of the discussion board prompts, which we will have a discussion board prompt every week, you will also be you need to be sort of thinking about what heritage site you want to visit. This assignment is going to be due in about 3 weeks. This visit to a cultural heritage resource, write-up and reflection. And if you do not know whether or not something you're thinking about qualifies as a heritage resource, then you can contact me ahead of time via Canvas message or email, to be honest with you, whichever. But contact me and let me know. I prefer Canvas message because that's what the university prefers, but if you reach me by email, it's fine. I'm not gonna mark you absent or ignore it or anything like that. But yes, this is going to be due in 3 weeks to be kind of thinking about where you want to go, and also be thinking about, also be thinking about whether what you are thinking about using as your example of a heritage site is actually something that is a heritage site. Again, if you're not sure, it won't bother me for you to reach out to me because we haven't had a lot of modules so far that really explain what is and isn't a heritage site. We're going to really just be going on and on with that as the course goes on. That's what the entire course is about. All right, so we've got that covered. That is really it for the state of the course update. Just remember that your week number 2 discussion board prompt is going to be something that is a little more substantial than what you had in the beginning. And again, for these first 2 weeks, you mostly have like introductory materials, so they might be a little more on the boring side and on the dry side. But still, I would say that as long as you get these things, as long as you get through the first 2 weeks. Then I think that the third week is going to be less foundational knowledge and more. The third week is going to be when we talk about landscape heritage, and I put landscape and natural heritage first because that one is a little bit lighter. And after these heavy first two discussion board prompts and modules, it's good to have a lighter one. And then tangible and intangible heritage are for weeks 4 and 5 respectively. And yes, those might be a little heavier than what you get in week 3, but there's a balance to it and a method to my madness. And then starting in week 6, we break it down into some other things, and I think you really will start to enjoy the class from week 6 on. At least that's my hope, and that's the way that I designed the class. Okay, but what I want you all to kind of keep in mind as you're going through preservation concerns with cultural heritage is just the fact that there's a reason why it's important to preserve cultural heritage. And I'm sure that sounds pretty weird to say, but when I talk about it being important to preserve heritage, what I want you all to just keep in mind and think about, just kind of ruminate on, is how much history has been lost. How much history has been lost throughout how much do we not know about human civilization because forms of cultural heritage were erased. Either knowledge that people were passing through oral tradition could no longer be passed because it died with somebody prematurely or something like that, or something might have gotten destroyed in war, or something wasn't preserved that well, and got in the weather or in the elements got to it. Whatever the case may be, the real cost of this is that we lose human achievement. We lose what I would say is human greatness when we lose cultural heritage. There's so much knowledge and so much wisdom that we probably would benefit from today if we still had a lot of these cultural heritage things that have been lost over time, but we don't have access to those things, and now we are suffering for it and trying to regroup and do what we can in the midst of it. But I really think that if we didn't have war and all these issues that have plagued humanity for centuries and centuries, if we didn't have those things going on and we had preserved all that cultural heritage, again, I think the world would be a more peaceful place and we would have a much more thorough understanding of one another. And so those are the things that just kind of break my heart as far as lost and forgotten heritage, which is something that we're going to talk about later in that's what the final module is actually devoted to. And, I just wonder how much differently this world could be if we had preserved that knowledge and if it was all accessible and, if we were all benefiting from those things. So that's something that I reflect on a lot, and it's something I want you all to reflect on throughout this course. And also, let me just finally say, after saying all that, that I think that that's why our cultural heritage institutions, what I would briefly describe in this situation as GLAM. This is only a segment of cultural heritage institutions, but when we talk about GLAM, which is galleries, libraries, archives, and museums, the thing that we have within GLAM is, just the human accomplishment. I mean, to go into a library and to see all of the books that are written, all of the knowledge that has been discovered by humans, we still only know less than 1% of what there is to know out there in this universe, but we still know a lot, and those libraries are full of human accomplishment, and archives are full of human accomplishment, and museums and galleries are full of human accomplishment, and that's a beauty to me. That is what is precious to me. Human accomplishment and being able to put it on display and give access to other people of people's human accomplishment. It just means so much, and that's why I really want to preserve it, and that's why I hope that throughout your careers you will also want to preserve and protect cultural heritage, as well as promote and advocate for it and let people know of its importance. And, I can leave it right there, especially since we're almost at 10 minutes. But that's something, an intro thought that I want to leave you all with. And we'll talk about some more things throughout the semester. It's going to be a great semester, and I am glad to have all of you here. With that said, I am Jace, and I am Dr. Jace, and let's go ahead and start this race. Good things are going to come out of the other side of it, y'all. All right, take care.